Big Brother 27-foot winner Ashley Hollis reveals how Elle Woods and goodbye messages got her the win, exclusive. The attorney also gets into her lawyer reveal to the jury, and that iconic attempted vote switch. On day 1, she took a shower. On day 82, she was showered with confetti. The Big Brother 27 journey for attorney Ashley Hollis was a trial at times, as she periodically lost allies and found herself as an outsider. But no matter the situation, she stuck to her core tenets, like toilet paper would stick to her pants. Be likable, but not too likable. Turn enemies into allies. Just make it those final 2 chairs. And indeed, she was able to do just that, winning a history-making final 3-0 and dominating the jury questioning to get a winning verdict. Ashley came into the game wanting to keep a low profile, lying about her job to not attract attention. Unfortunately, she was nearly all washed up on night 1 when she spent a long time up in the hoe room and shower. Becoming an early target made her an easy first nominee for Vince Panaro. Luckily, Ashley would go on to win the veto, ensuring she would not be the first to go. And she used that safety to begin to make relationships, particularly getting in tight with people like Rachel Riley, Clifton Will Williams, and Mickey Lee. Unfortunately, while important allies, they would prove not to be endgame ones. In a period of only a couple of weeks, they all got taken from her, usually with her sitting on the block next to her, but, perhaps channeling her inner Elle Woods, Ashley knew she was far from out. As she touted in her final 2 speech, she replaced her number ones by getting in good by the people she had previously feuded with. She made an allegiance with Keanu Soto only a couple of weeks after she yelled at him during a veto meeting. She locked in on the remnants of the judges' alliance with Vince and Morgan Pope, which helped get her all the way to Final 3. But, going into the finale, it was still an uphill battle. Not only was Ashley against a power couple, but one who, between them, won 12 competitions. But she did the impossible, beating Vince in an all-time comeback in Part 2, then pulling off another upset with Morgan in Part 3. It was Ashley's first and only hoe, but it was a game-winning one. While emotionally fraught, she knew what to do, cutting the one person who she knew she'd never beat. Facing the jury, Ashley showcased the enthusiasm and clarity that has made her a successful lawyer, articulating how a good Big Brother game doesn't need to revolve around competitions. And the jury, for the most part, agreed. Between her relationships, her effective speech, and the move to take out Morgan, after nearly walking out of the house week 1, Ashley walked out in week 12 $750,000 richer. Hours after leaving the house, Ashley speaks with pride about whether she expected her victory, how she utilized her social skills and Elle Woods' tactics to make the final 2, and how she believes her win impacts the Big Brother legacy. First off, I have to ask, how are you doing right now? I can't believe it. I mean, really, I feel like I'm the true underdog of the season. I mean, from only winning a comp week 1, which was what I needed to win. And then now winning the final hoe, it's unreal. It's incredible. It's amazing. And I feel blessed. When you evicted Morgan, you said you felt it was a toss-up next to Vince as opposed to her. And I can confirm to you that Morgan told Julie she would have taken you. So what did you think your chances were going into the jury deliberation? I actually thought my chances were really good. Laughs. I just didn't want to say that publicly in front of Vinny. But I thought I could win the game next to Vinny. I did. I didn't think it'd be 6-1, now. But I thought I could get 4 and he would maybe get 3. I thought I had Rachel's vote, Will's vote, Ava's vote, and then it was a toss-up between Keanu and Kelly. I thought maybe I could get one of their votes. But I wasn't sure, because Keanu was really close with Vince in the house most of the game. But I also knew Keanu would respect a really big move, which was evicting Morgan, because he had been trying to do it himself for weeks, even trying to get her on that block. So I felt like my chances were really good next to Vinny. But a landslide vote? I didn't necessarily know that that was gonna happen. And I can confirm that Keanu just told me that the primary reason he voted for you was because you made the biggest move of the season and took Morgan out. That's amazing. I'm like, thank you, Keanu. Who knew? Who would have thought? What was your reaction to the reaction of you revealing you're a lawyer? So I couldn't tell their reactions, but I saw Vinny next to me, and he was gagged. And then I saw Morgan, but I didn't really see other people's reactions because I was so locked in. But he was shocked. But other jurors, I don't know. Well, I have to inform you that Will may have let the cat out of the bag and told everyone in jury. Laughs. That's hilarious because, you know what? Literally, right before he left, I was like, make sure this stays a secret. If I make it to final 2, I want this to be my speech. He's like, yeah, of course. But hey, maybe it helped. I don't know. I want to get into your idea of turning enemies into allies. Did you have a tried and true method of doing that? Or was it more so adapting on the fly? I think coming in, I knew I was fully going to rely on my social game in this game. Because I'm decently athletic, but I'm not Morgan athletic. I'm not Keanu athletic. I'm very aware of my strengths and my weaknesses. But being an attorney, I also know you have to predict the other side. And so I knew that once I got off the block, I knew I was gonna have to get to work with my social game, because I was a bit behind compared to everybody else. I mean, when you're on the block week 1 and you're the target, people don't really want to talk game with you. I wasn't approached with very many alliances or people who necessarily wanted to work with me until after I won the veto, but everybody else had been doing that since day 1, so I knew I had to repair my relationship with Vince fast in case he won again, because otherwise I would just go back on the block, and this time, I would go home. So I think when Zach left, I really saw it as an opportunity to make that happen, because there kind of wasn't an opening. Zach, Morgan and Vince were a strong 3, with Lauren as a 4th, a pretty strong 4. And so when he left, I was like, period, this is my opportunity to jump right in the cracks and attach myself to them. Because I knew that Morgan had a lot of control over Vinny. And so as me and Morgan were getting closer, I knew that if I made it seem like I wanted to work with Vinny, she would be pushing it to happen. And that's exactly what happened, and it worked in my favor. And then I knew I was in trouble with Keanu when he absolutely wanted to put me on the block as a replacement. He wasn't considering anybody else, and I knew, okay, I'm staying this week next to either these people most likely. So I gotta fix this relationship with him pronto. Because he is a comp beast, and I do not want to be back on his block. And that's what I did. You talked a number of times, including in your speech, about the Elle Woods of it all. Were you ever worried you were possibly playing the part too well, and that the reveal may not have moved the needle at all? I was a little bit worried about that starting to get towards the end of the game. Because I remember Keanu, we had a conversation in the winery. And he basically was like, basically you're going to be playing for second place. Because you've done nothing in this game. You're not really aligned with anyone, and Rachel was your only ally. And in my head, I'm like, that couldn't be further from the truth. So I'm like, maybe I'm playing this dumb card a little too much, where people are thinking I'm so much not a threat that they think I'm not doing anything. If I make it to the final 2 chairs, that's a pretty hefty load to carry to try to get people's votes. But I really try to utilize my goodbye messages with every single person to explain my game. And so that was my strategy. Every single person that left in the jury, I left a message that revealed some of my strategy and some of my moves, and some of the people I was aligned with came into the final 3 as an underdog up against a dominant duo. But I watched you on the feeds all week convince Morgan to take you to the final 2 if she won the final hoe. Talk to me about your tactics there? Oh my gosh, I was working overtime. Because I just assumed, even once we made it to part 2, and we knew that it was me versus Morgan. I assumed Morgan was gonna win. She's a competition beast. She's quite literally comped her way out to get to where she is. I thought, no way she's gonna lose the final hoe, so I knew I had to get to work to make sure she took me. Because even though I truly did not feel I could beat her, hey, $75,000 is a lot better than nothing. And I worked overtime to plant every seed I could about Vinny, every single thing I could find and think of about Vinny, talking about how he's the best social player, and hyping up his game. And I guess it worked. I wanted her to be doubtful, and that I wanted her. I also kind of used an emotional tactic, which was her family. You came here for your family. When you walked in here, you didn't know me, you didn't know him, you didn't know anyone. And you were good before then. So you've got to make a decision for your family. Are you really willing to risk $750,000 by taking him? And I guess it got her thinking, and I guess it worked. I have to go back to the moment you tried to switch your vote during the live eviction. Tell me about everything that was going through your head during that moment. Laughs. Oh my gosh. Okay, so in the moment, you guys probably saw I did want Jimmy to stay. I tried to work to get Ava's vote and several other votes. And it wasn't because I trusted Jimmy. I knew all the things he had said about me. But it was more about keeping a big target in the house. And I knew from Mickey making this move that he was going to go after other people that weren't me, which is great for my game. And not only that, he was going to be a block spot every single week until he went home for everybody else in the house.